you're definitely diverting a major waste from landfill, and I don't think people realize how many sailboats there are. I mean, you go to these coastal towns, and there's just a lot of sailboats, and I can imagine, the being the boats really do take a beating in terms of the weather, and over time those sails do have to be replaced. So I was just curious, if you have an average sail from a typical boat, how many bags can you actually get out of that? And are you running out of opportunities to get the raw materials, or do you see a steady supply as more and more people get boats? Because I do know in the pandemic, it seemed like people spent a lot of money on RVs and boats and things because they couldn't really go anywhere. So I was just curious how the supply chain looks, and how does a typical sail turn into a bag?
That's a great question, and there's not a real easy answer because a couple of things determine when a sale is no longer saleable. So one is the size of the sale and how much sailing people really do. Even if they're out there cruising and just having cocktails, that sale's going to last a long time. And then those are my kind of boaters. Having said that, if they're sailing real competitively and through um, windy conditions, and if they're in an area that has lots of sun, the sun will actually stretch the sail. So it really depends on just how much people sail and how hard they sail. Um, in terms of how many bags we get from a sail, there are all different sizes of boats inside, therefore sizes of sails. So we have become masters at utilizing as much of the sail to increase our yield with every single part that we can. So the people that cut our sails are true masters at laying it out. And when we look at the anatomy of a sail, we don't just look at how many large totes can we get. We trace it all out so that we get um, even the smallest pieces of scrap we use for hang tags. The corners we can make rounds for our bucket bags. And so, we utilize everything we can to reduce our own waste. I'm not worried about the supply chain running out, as you indicated. Um, the economy is doing very well. People are investing in lifestyle activities, and as long as there are sailors, there will be sales. There's an evolution in the material, so we have to evolve our manufacturing and our design process to utilize everything that's out there. But we haven't scratched the surface.
Oh, good. That's excellent. And I know that when we think about it, I used to work for the Environmental Protection Agency. I was their waste minimization national expert. And when we really start to look at the materials that go into landfills, textiles, carpeting, and I would even imagine like sails isn't broken out individually when we used to do our analyses at EPA, but it's still got to be something that over time adds up. And being able to take that and turning it into the beautiful products that you make, that really do last. They're super durable, and I can't imagine people could even wear your bags out because they're they're really really awesome, and well built. So I do think that it's a great thing that you're doing in terms of really taking that waste and turning it into, I would almost say it's upcycling, because it's turning it into a longer life product. Sales obviously last a long time, but giving it that next life is a great way to handle that.
Yeah, thanks for that. We say that every bag has a story. It's got a story of where the sale has been, and it's got a story of the adventure that the bag will go on. So it's really fun to think about. Although I think there's a real opportunity in our industry to go upstream and downstream to continue the work that we've started. So I'm really really excited to be partnering with the sale makers, to get rid of some of their waste. And we've recently come together to say, what can we do to kind of lead the industry on some of the parts of the sale that we're not able to recycle, and find new homes for those. So there's plenty of work to be done, beyond just making the bags, which I'm super proud of. But I'm really thrilled that we're all starting to align. The other thing that's great is that now sailing in general, the races and the regattas, they're all looking for sustainability standards and what they can do, to be better stewards to our earth. So the industry as a whole, and it started, from the consumers and the end users, are kind of demanding the practices.